Step into a world where sound transcends its physical source, enveloping you in an auditory illusion so precise it challenges the very limits of human perception. On April 15, 2025, a breakthrough study published in the Journal of the Acoustical Society of America revealed a revolutionary leap in audio technology. The research, led by Nima Zagarnejad at Western University in London, Ontario, introduced a marvel of sound engineering, the AudioDome. This 11-foot wide, 3.4 meters dome houses a high-density array of ultra-precise speakers capable of generating a full three-dimensional soundscape, so convincing that your brain perceives sounds as coming from their real, physical sources, even though they aren't actually there. It's not virtual reality. It's not surround sound. It's a new frontier in audio immersion, where technology meets the architecture of human perception. The AudioDome harnesses a technique called ambisonic rendering. This method records and recreates sound from all directions in a spherical pattern, allowing for a complete 360-degree reproduction of spatial acoustics. But where traditional ambisonics use a limited number of channels or virtual simulations, the AudioDome creates that sound field in the real world. It uses dozens of high-fidelity speakers, carefully calibrated and positioned within the dome, to project audio that mimics how sound waves behave in open space. Every whisper, every footstep, every shift in acoustic pressure is choreographed so precisely that your ears can no longer tell the difference between simulation and reality. Each speaker doesn't just emit a simple signal, it interacts with the rest, contributing to a highly complex and coordinated sound environment. The system replicates minute differences in phase, frequency, and amplitude that the brain instinctively uses to localize sounds. Lead author Nima Zagarnejad and his team designed this structure not just to push boundaries, but to dissolve them. Their goal was to trick the brain into perceiving sound as truly three-dimensional, without the need for headphones, wearables, or visual cues. The result? An acoustic illusion that feels uncannily real, an experience not only heard, but felt. The implications of this work go far beyond audio fidelity. In fields like cognitive neuroscience and psychology, the AudioDome provides a controlled yet naturalistic space to study how the human brain processes complex, multi-layered sound environments. For example, how does the brain distinguish a friend's voice in a crowded room, or pinpoint the source of an approaching vehicle in traffic? Until now, scientists had to rely on headphones or VR simulations to explore these questions. Now, with this dome, they can study auditory perception in a real space environment, free of artificial constraints and mechanical filters. This tool creates a platform for repeatable auditory experiments, essential in clinical trials and cognitive studies, where every sonic variable can be manipulated in a physically accurate three-dimensional field. It transforms abstract acoustic theory into hands-on, observable phenomena. In the entertainment industry, the AudioDome opens new doors for sound design in music, film, and gaming. Imagine attending a concert where every note feels like it's coming from the musician's exact position on stage, or playing a video game where enemy footsteps feel physically present behind you. This is spatial storytelling at its most advanced, where the narrative doesn't just unfold visually, but acoustically. Even in architecture and design, such a tool could revolutionize how sound is tested in new buildings before construction. Engineers could replicate and experience the acoustics of a proposed concert hall or airport terminal within the dome, refining designs in real time. For city planners and acoustic consultants, it could eliminate guesswork and allow the precise mapping of urban soundscapes. And for those with hearing impairments, this research could shape the next generation of assistive devices. Instead of merely amplifying sound, future hearing aids inspired by the AudioDome might reintroduce spatial cues, helping users locate sound sources with natural precision. A world that once sounded flat could regain its dimensional richness. The illusion works because the human brain relies heavily on spatial audio cues, differences in timing, pitch, and volume between our ears to determine where sounds are coming from. When those cues are delivered accurately, even in the absence of the actual source, the brain fills in the blanks. The AudioDome essentially feeds the brain a perfectly tailored acoustic environment. Whether it's a mosquito buzzing around your left ear or a thunderclap echoing overhead, your auditory cortex accepts it as real. There's no lag, no fuzziness, just pinpoint realism. And this realism isn't theoretical. In user tests, participants consistently identified sound locations with extreme accuracy, even when blindfolded. Some described the experience as auditory teleportation. Others reported a sense of presence so vivid that they instinctively turned their heads or stepped aside, as if dodging a real object. The illusion is so complete it can override visual expectations. This isn't just about entertainment. It's about mapping how our brains construct reality from auditory input. And with the AudioDome, we now have a powerful tool to both explore and manipulate that process with scientific precision. Zarganazad and his team didn't build the AudioDome overnight. The research combined principles from physics, acoustics, engineering, and neuroscience. It also relied on Western universities' robust infrastructure for spatial audio research and years of foundational work in 3D sound modeling. They borrowed from concert hall design, bioacoustics, architectural simulation, and even battlefield sonar modeling to refine the acoustic architecture. Every curve of the dome, every placement of a speaker, every algorithm controlling delay and decay was iteratively tested to create harmony between science and sensation. The dome's design was partly inspired by the limitations of current VR systems, which often prioritize visuals over audio. By flipping that equation, by making sound the hero, the team has created something immersive, intuitive, and deeply human. Of course, like any groundbreaking technology, the AudioDome has its limitations. It's currently housed at a research facility and not something you'll see in home theaters anytime soon. The complexity and cost of building such a dome, with its network of individually calibrated speakers, are still significant barriers to widespread adoption. But the team is already exploring scalable versions, perhaps smaller pods or portable arrays, that can bring this level of immersion to commercial and educational settings. Applications in museums, flight training simulators, medical environments, and immersive art installations are already being considered. They also plan to integrate motion tracking technology, allowing the sound field to shift in real time as a person moves. That would allow for even greater interactivity, creating a soundscape that adapts to your presence like a responsive acoustic environment. There is also interest in integrating artificial intelligence to dynamically generate or position sounds based on user behavior or emotion, offering a kind of emotionally adaptive acoustic world. This is more than a new way to experience music or sound design. It's a portal into how humans interpret the world through vibration, pressure, and resonance. With the AudioDome, Zarganazad and his team have created a space where science, sensation, and perception converge. As sound becomes indistinguishable from source and illusion merges with reality, we're forced to ask, how far can the human brain be pushed before it no longer questions what it hears? The answer might lie not in what we hear next, but where we believe it's coming from. If this is just the beginning of spatial sound's evolution, what happens when these technologies reach our homes, our classrooms, our cities? Stick with us to hear the future unfold. Subscribe for more real breakthroughs that are changing how we experience the world.